CM Punk sends a message to AJ Lee, the best and worst of WWE Raw in Paris. The Rock's The Smashing Machine scores huge with critics ahead of release. The Rock bursts into tears. The Righteous are WWE-bound after wrapping up indie bookings. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest were forced to break up. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman injury update. Randy Orton punished with a fine and suspension. AJ Lee dethrones Becky Lynch. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE Raw in Paris. WWE wrapped up its European summer tour with a supersized Raw in Paris, France, delivering a thrilling show for the electric crowd, who soaked up every moment. While the live audience was buzzing with energy, the episode had its ups and downs for viewers at home. Here's a look at the best and worst moments from the action-packed night. Number 1. Best, CM Punk and Becky Lynch's fiery promo battle. CM Punk and Becky Lynch stole the show with a tense war of words on Raw. Punk called out Seth Rollins for a one-on-one showdown, but the man interrupted, escalating their feud. Lynch leaned into the crowd's AJ Lee chants, despite earlier hints suggesting Rhea Ripley, not Lee, might back Punk against Rollins and Lynch. Punk teased a big surprise for SmackDown in Chicago, keeping fans guessing about AJ Lee's potential return for a blockbuster tag team match at WrestlePalooza. The segment's magic came from their intense delivery, with sharp body language and gripping tension that made it a must-watch. It's got everyone talking about Lee's possible comeback, though Punk's earlier interaction with Ripley leaves some uncertainty. Number 2. Best and worst. AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio's great match. Shocking finish. The Paris crowd erupted for AJ Styles as he challenged Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship in a stellar match. But the ending left jaws on the floor when Mysterio retained with help from Ludwig Kaiser, frustrating fans online and silencing the arena. This classic heel victory, cheating to outsmart a beloved legend, captured the heart of pro wrestling, but the slow-moving Judgment Day storyline, especially the Finn Balor-Dominic drama, feels dragged out, particularly with Liv Morgan's absence. Still, Mysterio's win keeps the door open for a potential John Cena clash during his farewell tour, while questions linger about Styles' next steps on Raw and his long-term WWE future. Number 3. Worst. Dropped follow-up from Clash in Paris and odd show flow. Raw stumbled by barely featuring key Clash in Paris stars. Seth Rollins, still World Heavyweight Champion, appeared briefly, taking a backseat to Becky Lynch to push her storyline with CM Punk. Roman Reigns, unsurprisingly absent after his brutal attack by Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and Nikki Bella, relegated to a minor backstage segment to set up Asuka and Sky's feud, felt like missed opportunities. Stephanie Baker, announced to face Sky for the vacant Women's World Championship at WrestlePalooza, was nowhere to be seen, and Sky was caught up in Asuka's controlling drama. Sheamus was absent despite his epic Clash in Paris bar fight, with only Rusev getting a vignette. Bayley's ongoing vignette series also got no update, just a brief backstage moment with Lyra Valkyria. The lack of momentum toward WrestlePalooza made the show feel disjointed. Number 4. Best, top-notch in-ring action. The Paris crowd was treated to stellar matches all night. The Intercontinental Championship bout between AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio set a high bar, but the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, also delivered, outshining Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez in a thrilling tag team clash. Finn Balor notched a rare singles win against rising star Dragon Lee, delighting fans with a clash of generations. The six-man tag match pitting The New Day and Grayson Waller against Penta and the War Raiders, plus the main event tag team showdown of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed versus LA Knight and Jey Uso, kept the energy high, delivering non-stop action that had the Parisian audience roaring. The Rock's The Smashing Machine scores huge with critics ahead of release. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is earning high praise for his role in The Smashing Machine, and a 24 film about former MMA fighter Mark Kerr, which debuted with a perfect 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes from the first 11 reviews. Now sitting at 93% based on 14 critics, it's among The Rock's best-reviewed projects ever. Set for release on October 3, 2025, the movie boasts a raw, dramatic performance from Johnson, alongside Emily Blunt and cameos from combat sports stars like Ryan Bader, Bas Rutten, and boxing champion Alexander Usyk. In a Variety interview, The Rock opened up about his career evolution, saying, "You don't know what you're capable of because you're so pigeonholed." Critics are raving about his intense portrayal and a 24's unflinching take on Kerr's turbulent life, signaling this could be a career-defining moment for the former WWE star. Fans are already excited to see if The Smashing Machine lives up to the hype when it hits theaters. The Rock bursts into tears. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was overcome with emotion, shedding rare tears at a recent film festival where his new movie, The Smashing Machine, received a 15-minute standing ovation, one of the longest at the event, according to Variety. Directed by Benny Safdie, the A24 film explores the life of MMA heavyweight Mark Kerr, tackling his struggles with addiction, relationships, and the brutal world of MMA. Inspired by a 2002 documentary of the same name, the movie sees The Rock transform his appearance dramatically, earning widespread praise and a 93% Rotten Tomatoes score ahead of its October 3, 2025 theatrical release. The Rock has been absent from WWE since his shocking heel turn alongside John Cena at Elimination Chamber 2025, where he demanded the soul of Cody Rhodes. Fans expected him at WrestleMania 41, but he didn't appear, reportedly due to creative differences and other factors. With the Smashing Machine generating serious awards buzz, The Rock may focus on Hollywood and awards season, potentially stepping further away from WWE. Fans are left wondering if his in-ring return will ever happen. Liv Morgan's stalker files motion seeking a release from jail. A Canadian wrestling fan, Sean Chan, identified as Liv Morgan's alleged stalker, is pushing for release from jail ahead of his criminal trial. According to PW Insider, on August 20th, Chan's lawyers filed a motion requesting he be allowed to stay at a Salvation Army facility until his trial, but the court has yet to rule. Chan remains in custody in Hernando County, Florida. On May 26th, Chan flew from Scarborough, Ontario to Orlando, claiming to customs officers he'd be staying at the WWE Performance Center, which has no living accommodations. 4 days later, court documents state he drove hours to Morgan's home, circled the property, entered her backyard, attempted to access her front door, and picked up an air pellet from her porch. After waiting outside for hours, he left a chilling note. "It's me, Sean, the guy you all play with online. You've been trying to reach me when I wasn't in the game. So who's the stalker? I never did anything bad for over 10 years, but you still hate me. I came here just for a friendly visit, nothing more. Yet I look like the stalker thanks to you. I won't care about any of you anymore. I'll start saying and doing whatever I want. I just wanted you to know I was here," the note read. WWE security identified Chan from Morgan's home surveillance footage and alerted the FBI, leading to his arrest on June 3rd. Charged on June 25th, he faces up to 5 years in prison. The disturbing case highlights the dangers of obsessive fan behavior, and Chan's request for pretrial release raises concerns about Morgan's safety, given the severity of his actions. The wrestling community awaits the court's decision on whether Chan will remain behind bars or be released under supervision. The Righteous are WWE-bound after wrapping up indie bookings. Vinny and Dutch, known as The Righteous, are reportedly headed to WWE after wrapping up their independent wrestling bookings, according to Fightful Select. Sources indicate the duo has informed indie promoters they're finishing their remaining dates, with WWE showing strong interest in signing them. This isn't the first time WWE has eyed the pair. In December 2022, The Righteous took part in a tryout alongside Casey Navarro and Kylie Ray, aimed at independent talent. Despite impressing, a hiring freeze triggered by Vince McMahon's return to WWE operations that same month halted their signing. After the freeze, The Righteous joined AEW and ROH, but have since secured their release. Now, WWE's interest has flared up again, with several within the company advocating for them. Elijah, formerly Elias, is among their supporters, having filmed vignettes with the duo. The late Bray Wyatt also championed them, pushing for their signing after their tryout, believing they had huge potential to work alongside him. With WWE actively scouting indie talent again and momentum building, The Righteous seem poised for a big break in WWE, opening the door for an exciting new chapter. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest were forced to break up. Rhea Ripley, one of WWE's biggest stars, and her real-life best friend Damian Priest have been fan favorites since their time in the Judgment Day, where both became world champions. Their bond grew stronger as the Terror Twins after leaving the faction, but their forced breakup has drawn sharp criticism. On Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge's Legion of Raw, an insider expressed frustration over WWE's decision to split them. When they broke out Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley from Judgment Day, they had something. And let me tell you why they had something, because there was never a guy-girl combo like that. And they really look like legit superheroes. And if they would have kept that team together and that relationship together, that was different. Since those two split, they've done nothing with Rhea Ripley, and they've done nothing with Damian Priest. So why wouldn't you have kept something together that was different and was special? You break that up, and now the two of them have been in no man's land for the last 6 months, the insider said. Since losing the Women's World Championship before WrestleMania, Ripley has been chasing the title, while Priest, now on SmackDown, is caught in a feud with Aleister Black that struggled for consistent screen time. Fans are left wondering why WWE broke up the unique and dynamic Terror Twins, leaving both stars directionless. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman injury update. Following the brutal attack at Clash in Paris 2025, WWE provided updates on the injuries suffered by Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman during the Raw broadcast at Paris La Défense Arena on September 1st. The chaos unfolded after Reigns defeated Bronson Reed, only to be ambushed by Braun Breaker and Reed, who unleashed a vicious assault with spears and tsunami splashes. Reigns, who also choked out Heyman during the incident, sustained multiple broken ribs, leaving the OTC out of action indefinitely. Heyman suffered a larynx contusion, a severe setback for someone whose career revolves around his voice, with no clear timeline for his return. The injuries, part of a scripted storyline to write Reigns off TV for his Street Fighter movie role as Akuma, have left fans wondering how Raw will feel without the Tribal Chief and the Oracle. Their absence opens the door for stars like Breaker and Reed to shine, but the void left by Reigns' commanding presence and Heyman's sharp promos will be hard to fill. The wrestling world is eager to see how long they'll be gone and what's next when they return, likely in time for Survivor Series War Games. Randy Orton punished with a fine and suspension. Randy Orton stirred up trouble on SmackDown with a shocking moment that's drawn sharp criticism. During a heated brawl with Drew McIntyre, Orton lashed out, attacking 4 referees and WWE management who tried to intervene. On Sportskeeda WrestleBinge's Bro-Down, an insider slammed Orton's actions, arguing he should face serious consequences. Then, I swear to God, Randy Orton lays out 4 referees and management. You think there's going to be any ramifications at all about that next week? Nothing, bro. You know that they are going to do nothing about that, the insider said. The insider went further, insisting Orton's outburst warrants a fine and suspension. Randy Orton should not be allowed to wrestle. Based on what he did tonight, he should be fined, suspended. They are not even going to talk about that next week. So, any wrestler can lay out any referee, any official from the office, and it's going to be business as usual, they added. Orton's actions stemmed from his ongoing feud with Drew McIntyre, which sparked the chaotic scene. With Orton's knack for elevating any rivalry, his next steps are highly anticipated, but it remains unclear whether WWE will address the incident or let it slide as the insider predicts. Fans are eager to see how his clash with McIntyre unfolds and what's in store for the Viper. AJ Lee dethrones Becky Lynch. Clash in Paris 2025 ended in turmoil when Becky Lynch low-blowed CM Punk, securing Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship retention in a fatal 4-way. On Raw, Lynch doubled down, answering Punk's call-out for Rollins and escalating their feud by slapping him repeatedly, mocking both him and his family. Punk fired back, warning the man of severe consequences for her actions. "You'll regret putting your hands on me," he vowed, his anger palpable. Lynch, the reigning Women's Intercontinental Champion, had earlier defended her title against Nikki Bella at the France PLE with a roll-up, leaving their rivalry open for a potential rematch. The ongoing tension between Lynch and Bella could take a wild turn, with Punk possibly interfering to cost Lynch the title in a future rematch as payback for her disrespect and for robbing him of the championship. Seth Rollins fueled the fire at Clash in Paris, screaming that he hated Punk and his family, echoing a past mistake by Drew McIntyre that unleashed Punk's ruthless side. Lynch's provocations on Raw have pushed Punk further, with speculation that he might invade Rollins and Lynch's home for revenge. On SmackDown, set in Punk's hometown of Chicago, he flashed a sly smirk as Adam Pearce announced the show's location, hinting at a major move. AJ Lee, Punk's wife and former Divas champion, absent from wrestling for over a decade, could be the key to this storyline. Lynch's attacks on Punk provide the perfect setup for Lee to return, potentially on SmackDown, to challenge Lynch and Rollins to a mixed tag team match at WrestlePalooza. Even more shocking, Lee might aim to dethrone Lynch as Women's Intercontinental Champion, shaking up the division and settling the score for her husband. CM Punk sends a message to AJ Lee. The wrestling world is abuzz with talk of AJ Lee's potential WWE return after Clash in Paris 2025, and CM Punk added fuel to the fire with a heartfelt Instagram story. Fresh off the European tour, which wrapped with a heated Raw in Paris, Punk shared his longing for his wife and their dog, Larry. "Day 9, and we move. I miss my wife and little Bubba. It's too hard being away this long. This is tour," Punk wrote. His emotional message came after a rough night at Clash in Paris, where he nearly won the World Heavyweight Championship in a fatal 4-way against Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, and LA Knight, only to be thwarted by a low blow from Becky Lynch, who helped her husband Rollins retain the title. On Raw, Lynch escalated the feud, responding to AJ Lee chants with a sharp jab. Classic, always chanting for a dope that doesn't work here. She also slapped Punk repeatedly, prompting him to vow revenge on both her and Rollins. Backstage, Punk confronted Adam Pearce, hinting at a big moment for SmackDown in his hometown of Chicago, sparking speculation that Lee could return to join forces with him. Legendary wrestler Tommy Dreamer, speaking on Busted Open, called a Lee comeback pure money, envisioning a blockbuster mixed tag match at WrestlePalooza. Does this, and I hope it happens because I miss her, does CM Punk bring his wife back? AJ Lee return to the WWE? I think that is pure money. I miss seeing AJ Lee. I really like AJ Lee, the performer. Never saw her paired up with CM Punk, but that is his real-life wife. If there is ever a time to have a main match, whether you just come back for one night, or if you want to come back for a run, you bring the wives back, and man, that is pure money printing, Dreamer said. Lee, absent from WWE since March 30th, 2015, when she teamed with Naomi and Paige against Natalya and the Bella Twins, could be welcomed back with the same fervor as Punk's 2023 return after nearly a decade away. Dreamer noted, "As much as people have been begging and pleading for the return of CM Punk after all the years when he finally came back, and thankfully he came back, and look at the great business and his attitude that CM Punk has had for WWE, think of the same if AJ Lee shows up." With Lynch defending her Women's Intercontinental Championship against Nikki Bella at Clash in Paris, and now targeting Punk, the stage is set for Lee to make a dramatic return, possibly in Chicago, to confront the man and set up an explosive program.